In the headlines, Rivers lawmakers insist on Governor Fubara's impeachment. Lagos government springs into action as classroom collapses in Ikorodu. EU clears Nigeria, 5 others from high-risk financial list. On the foreign scene, Ugandan forces clash with opposition, 10 killed at MPS home. Hello and welcome to News Update on Trust TV. I am Maimuna Bagudu. And now we begin with politics in Rivers State, where 4 members of the State House of Assembly who has previously withdrawn from the impeachment proceedings against Governor Siminalayi Fubara have reversed their decision. The lawmakers, including Minority Leader Sylvanus Nwankwo, Peter Abe, Deputy Minority Leader Barile Nwankwo, and Emilia Amadi, said at a press conference on Friday that the governor has given them no reason to back down from the process. This development comes as the House affirmed that it will continue with the impeachment of Governor Fubara and his deputy. Lawmakers maintain that their removal is necessary to prevent a breakdown of law and order in the state, underscoring the seriousness of the ongoing political crisis in Rivers State. Now, the Rivers State government has denied reports that Governor Siminalayi Fubara has been formally served with an impeachment notice by the State House of Assembly. The governor's special advisor, Darlington Orji, said Fubara has not received any official communication regarding impeachment, adding that he only became aware of the move through media reports. Orji explained that the House had earlier announced it will proceed on recess and reconvene around January 28, 2026, but later held an emergency sitting outside the agreed schedule. He noted that the governor was not in the state at the time of the sitting, dismissing claims that Fubara deliberately avoided the assembly or fled to evade impeachment. According to him, the governor has nothing to hide and is not afraid of any lawful process, insisting that reports of an impeachment notice being served are inaccurate. And now to the FCTA workers under the Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA, have announced plans to shut down government offices across Abuja and its area councils as an indefinite strike begins on Monday, January 19, 2026. The decision was taken by the Joint Union Action Congress, JUAC, which directed workers across all cadres to withdraw their services over what it described as a failure of the authorities to address long-standing labor and welfare issues. Confirming the development, JUAC Public Relations Officer Holina Adejo said the strike would affect all FCTA secretariats, departments, agencies, area councils, and parastatals. The action followed the expiration of a 7-day ultimatum issued to the FCTA management, which unions said was ignored despite several meetings. The ultimatum, which took effect on January 7, was signed by JUAC President Rifkatu Loyeta as Secretary Abdullahi Sali, and copied to key FCT officials. Unresolved demands include promotion arrears, stalled promotions, and the continued extension of service for retired directors and permanent secretaries. Now, the Harmattan season Nigerians have once known for decades is no longer the same. Experts say climate variation and global warming are significantly altering the dry season, making it shorter, warmer, and increasingly unpredictable. From delayed onset to unusual rainfall and rising health concerns, the changing face of Harmattan is raising fresh questions about climate resilience. Trust TV's Noel Sampson takes a closer look.
For generations, Nigerians' Harmattan followed a predictable pattern of cold, dry and dusty winds from late November to March. Today, the pattern is changing. Meteorological records show the season now often arrives late, sometimes not until January, and ends abruptly, making it shorter and less predictable. In recent years, parts of the south, and southeast have experienced warm, humid conditions and even rainfall during months traditionally considered dry. The familiar dust haze is increasingly absent in southern Nigeria and milder in the north, although when it does occur, it can be more intense. Scientists attribute these changes to global warming and abnormal shifts in intertropical convergence zone, which are altering wind patterns and allowing moisture into typical dry regions. Residents of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, say they are already feeling the effects of the changing Harmattan season.
Quite the contrary when everybody says this is dry weather. This is not a dry weather. From one of the agencies that I got from WhatsApp message says that this weather carries diseases. So personally, I've been coping. Even before the message came in, I noticed it. So at night, each time I put on the fan and AC, or the fan, no AC, the fan, my throat gets dry. And in the morning, if I don't drink water, my throat is like I'm parched inside. So I force my spit down. So each time I wake up in the morning, I drink water. Before I go to sleep, I'm always with water beside me in my bed to drink water.
This school is not friendly because the people in charge of climate are spreading the news around that we must be careful to take care of ourselves in this season because it's going to cause so many sicknesses and diseases that we should be cautious of this season so that we cover ourselves very well, take hot water, and then close our windows, don't expose your food, and then you are good to go.
Whether I come late or I come on time, the issue is that this climate change affects everything, including human beings themselves. There is nothing new that we can say about it.
But the changing Harmattan is not only affecting individuals, it is also impacting businesses. Speaking to Trust TV, Prince Arize, a drip seller, explained how the altered weather pattern has affected his livelihood.
That's the very weather where we use the need is weather. Is another thing for the business now. Like if it's before, this weather, this season, especially this January, nice weather now be the season. But now you buy that sweater based on say nice season you no go sell them because the weather is not normal again.
These changes come with serious public health implications. Rising temperatures are increasing the risks of heat stress, while shifting humidity levels are altering disease patterns, including the spread of malaria-carrying mosquitoes. People living with respiratory conditions are also more vulnerable to dust-related complications. Medical experts advise Nigerians to adult by staying hydrated, reducing exposure to dust, using face masks when necessary, and seeking early medical attention, especially for respiratory symptoms.
We know that this weather too can cause a lot of skin manifestation. Like it even affects every part of our body, like from head to toe, down from the hair. It will cause dryness of the hair. So that's why I would advise women to not make very tight braids or even if you want to do, just moisturize properly. Basically, what we need to do for our body, for our skin during this weather is moisturizing. Moisturize your skin because we all know that Harmattan will cause dryness. We all know Harmattan too will cause dehydration because we are not sweating more. And normally, especially the cold time in the mornings and in the evening, we're not sweating. So the body, we tend to get dehydrated quickly. So I would say, drink a lot of water. A lot of us don't like drinking water normally. So take fruits like watermelon, fruits that contain like a lot of water in it.
As climate change continues to reshape Nigerians' weather systems, understanding and adapting to the new realities of Harmattan may be critical, not only for public health, but also for long-term environmental sustainability. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
We shift our focus now to Lagos State, where the Lagos State government has expressed concern over the collapse of a bungalow classroom block at Odokekere High School, Ikorodu, assuring the public that no life was lost in the incident. In a statement by the Special Committee on Rehabilitation of Public Schools, SCRPS, the government described the incident as unfortunate but confirmed that all students were safe and unharmed. The committee explained that the affected structure had already been marked for demolition under an ongoing plan to replace old buildings with more durable facilities to accommodate rising enrollment. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has directed that students affected by the collapse be relocated to nearby schools to ensure uninterrupted academic activities. SCRPS officials are expected to visit the school for an on-the-spot assessment as plans are accelerated to construct a modern classroom block to replace the collapsed structure. Now, residents of Ibadan have called on the state government to stop demolishing properties belonging to individuals not affiliated with the ruling party, stressing that such actions could undermine peaceful coexistence and socio-economic growth. The call came amid protests over the demolition of a structure belonging to former Oyo State Deputy Governor, Engineer Rauf Olaniyan, on Wednesday. The report.
Protesters cautioned the state government against targeting structures of respected individuals simply due to political differences. They expressed concern that such demolitions may be perceived as political vendettas, potentially undermining the country's democratic health. The Oyo State government, through its Commissioner for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Mr. Williams Akinfunmilayo, dismissed claims of political bias. He explained that the fence of the affected building was obstructing free flow of traffic onto a neighboring expressway and was removed only after official notice was served to Engineer Olaniyan. Residents of the affected community, including Yusuf Bolaji and Alhaji Dikrulai Tiamiyu, affirmed that the demolition was intended to reopen the block service road and was not directed at any individual personally.
The thing you can attest to is something even visible to the blind anyway. The property being claimed that belonged to the former deputy governor in person of Engineer Olaniyan. There's no structure on it. We only have about 2 or 3 tar boilers there, which are equipment for road construction. So I don't know what property will have been destroyed or will have been removed from undeveloped piece of land.
We didn't even tamper with any property. We are after the surface roads. And we have even reported to Federal Ministry of Lands. Then we went to State Ministry of Land. So, and they came here. When they came here, they saw everything that already is service road. And we brought our master plan. They go through it. From there, they saw everything clearly that this place is a service road.
Recall that in 2025, the Oyo State government established the new Town and Cities Development Agency to oversee community development and ensure orderly urban planning across the state.
In another story, the Supreme Court has upheld the conviction of Aminu Sule Lamido, son of former Jigawa State Governor Sule Lamido, over failure to declare $40,000 while traveling out of Nigeria. In a collective judgment delivered on Friday, January 16, 2026, a 5-man panel of the Apex Court dismissed Aminu's appeal, affirming earlier rulings of the Federal High Court Kano and the Court of Appeal Kaduna. The court held that the appeal lacked merit and upheld Aminu's 2015 conviction by the EFCC for false declaration of foreign currency at the Malang Aminu Kano International Airport. The trial court has ordered the forfeiture of $10,000, representing 25% of the undeclared sum, to the federal government.
Just delivered. In which case? In the case of Sule Lamido. Okay. Well, Sule Lamido and Mustafa Lamido. The other one has not been delivered yet. There's one more left. They have said that we should go back and continue the trials in the High Court. That's the essence of what they say. So we are going to call our witnesses in defense of our claim. Okay. That's just all. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay. Yes.
Which one is left? It has not been delivered.
No, yes, that's been delivered. No. The other two that have been delivered.
This one has to do with 1.3 something.
Well, it's not even true. The real amount, they say 750 million. I don't know why you press.
You are not the ones that we have.
Well, but if you look at the charge, it's 750 million. But they say the children were not supposed to do contracts and being governor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're still watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming up after the break. EU clears Nigeria 5 others from high-risk financial list. Do stay with us. More news when we return. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the News Update on Trust TV. Let's take a look at our top stories once again. Rivers lawmakers insist on governor's impeachment, and Lagos government springs into action as classroom collapses in Ikorodu. Now moving on to more stories, Nigeria has been removed from the European Union's list of high-risk countries for money laundering and terrorist financing, easing restrictions on financial transactions with EU states. The decision announced by the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit follows Nigeria's removal from the FATF grey list after strengthening its anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing framework. The EU said Nigeria met required reforms under its FATF action plan alongside countries such as South Africa and Tanzania. NFIU CEO Hafsat Bakari described the listing as validation of Nigeria's financial sector reforms. Now, residents of the Federal Capital Territory blame the rise of one-chance attacks on a broken and poorly regulated transport system in Abuja. They say weak oversight, high fares and gaps in mass transit are pushing commuters into unsafe options. Habibat Ajayi reports.
Abuja once ran a tight public transport system under the FCTA. Routes were clear. Operators were known. Over time, residents say the structure collapsed. Regulation faded. Informal operators took over. The city has also grown fast. Transport supply did not keep up. Daily demand now overwhelms what little mass transit exists. Although FCT Minister Yesam Wike recently commissioned new bus terminals in Kubo, the Central Business District, and Mabushi, residents say the impact is yet to show. The terminus seats idle, buses are missing, routes are unclear, staff are absent, fears remain high.
We have assured the residents of Abuja that under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we are going to give them a first-class infrastructure which they deserve. So we're happy what they're seeing, and we believe that we will try as much as we can to keep to the dates we have agreed.
Transport unions say the problem runs deeper than terminals. They point to poor planning, weak enforcement, and rising operating costs. In their view, buildings without buses do not fix Abuja's transport crisis.
Make sure I say with a lot of painted motor, Abuja color, where unpainted is not available because of one chance. We know they allowed unpainted loading for the park. We must make sure I say motor, painting motor to Abuja color. But the challenge we face, some workers really close from work, some now officers. They will come along the road. You know, if you talk to them, they will come spoil your work. They will claim say them now officer they be. We're not supposed to be like this. If you follow them, they will use uniform and intimidate tractors. Now because of that, we dey avoid those kind to make sure say peace reign.
The sense of transport system here in Abuja is not well organized. So in terms of this bus terminals that the minister is building off the capital, in fact I call it off the city, off the town. In fact, if you look around here now, there is no bus stops in the FCT as concerned. So in a situation whereby there is no bus stops, the transport system cannot work. Because if you check out all the whole roads that the road users use, you see that there will always be a choked up because there are no bus stops where all those long buses, the taxi drivers can park. So the transport system here is not like in Lagos. You go to Lagos, you enjoy transport system.
Population growth, especially in satellite towns, has stretched the system further. Long waits and rigid schedules now push commuters towards unregulated private cabs. Many say these options feel safer, they also feel riskier. That gap, residents one, gives room for one-chance criminals. As more private cabs flood the roads, criminals blend in with ease.
I said no to that because the government have not handled the system to regulate the transportation system as a whole. We used to have this form of handling of a transportation system back then, but I think for the past 10-15 years, such things have not been actually handled the way it should be. So we are still getting it wrong.
The car when they are available, don't know they reach there. Even this one, I don't know they enter.
Why?
Because no money for their own. And they follow this thing, hilos, and they enter hilos. They don't affect their work now. They don't affect.
How?
Before then they find passenger plenty. Now they know they see passenger for road.
Residents want action. They want buses on the road, clear routes, firm regulation, and visible enforcement. Until then, they say Abuja's transport failure will keep feeding the one-chance menace. Habibat Ajayi, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And now in business, Nigeria's headline inflation rate rose to 15.15% in December 2025, up from 14.45% in November, according to the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS). Despite the monthly increase, year-on-year inflation declined compared to December 2024 due to a new base year, indicating easing price pressures. Month-on-month inflation soared to 0.54% from 1.22% in November. Food inflation eased significantly to 10.84% year-on-year, driven by lower prices of staples such as tomatoes, garri, eggs, and grains. Urban inflation stood at 14.85%, while rural inflation declined to 14.56%. Overall, NBS data shows slowing inflation momentum, especially in food prices and rural areas. Now, away from Nigeria, a senior Ugandan opposition figure has alleged that security forces stormed his home during Thursday's general election, killing 10 members of his campaign team. The opposition lawmaker Kivumbi said the attack occurred after hundreds of supporters gathered at his residence following the close of voting. He described the incident as devastating, saying he was emotionally broken by the killings. According to his wife, Zahara Nampewo, a law professor, campaign agents fled into a garage when security forces entered the compound. She alleged that officers fired through the garage door, killing 10 people who were hiding inside. Uganda held the elections under an internet blackout as President Yoweri Museveni seeks to extend his nearly 40-year rule amid accusations of repression against opposition groups. Police spokesperson Lydia Tumushabe offered a different account, claiming that a group of NUP goons had planned to attack a local tally center and police station. With that, we've come to the end of News Update on Trust TV. You can follow us on all of our social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more news. I am Maimuna Bagodo. Thanks for watching and do well to join us at 9 p.m. for subsequent news bulletin.